This is the John Hallett Podcast with John Hallett.
It's because the way we're living, we need to change it, make it change today. And all learn from failure. Maybe they just wanted it a little bit more than you. That's probably the fact.
And now your host, John Hallett.
Fight the power, people. Fight the power. Josh is cracking up. He messed up the show already, so this is like the second take. So now I'm like, fight the power. Look, people, what do we do as just a common person? I feel this is one platform I can get out and shout from the rooftops, go to the town square, I guess, and voice what I have to say about the current affairs of the world. I think there's so many things wrong, and things change, and we don't quite know, right? Something gets invented like AI. Like, what direction is it going to go? Good or bad? We've got to figure these things out. We've got to be able to backtrack. But my big thing is, why are we letting the schools these days just raise our kids? It's ridiculous. They let our kids be bullied. They teach them to be weak. I have kids in my gym here in Castle Rock, Colorado, that don't think they can fight back when a kid hits them. It is absolutely ridiculous that the school system's going to punish you for fighting back. I educate our kids and tell them, number one, you need to talk and have a conversation with your parents, but they're bringing you to self-defense. So obviously, it's probably going to go okay with your parents of when can you use self-defense? And it's probably going to be similar to what Coach John is saying, when you can use it. I tell them, what would your principal, what would your teacher do if your mom just raised a hand and threatened to slap that teacher? But you cannot defend yourself from another kid that's pushing, hitting, slapping you, punching you. You cannot fight back. What message is that sending our kids? We need to make a change, people. I don't know. Fight the power, the big system. It just seems overwhelming sometimes, but we've got to just get up and make our voices heard. It's just getting more and more ridiculous. I'm grinding away at work. I'm up at 4:30. Last night I was home at 8:30. Yeah, I had a little bit of break and a little bit of downtime in there as a small business owner, but you're just going. Where is the time? Josh wanted me to run for mayor of Castle Rock. I'm like,
I still do.
He still does. I'm like, he's demoting me. I'm like, President, make some big change here.
Somewhere go.
I know, you
Run
gotta
for
say.
mayor.
I don't want to run for mayor.
Run for mayor.
I want to run my gym, but I don't know what changes the mayor can make. I'd have to study up on it a little bit, and I feel like I have so many other interests, and this is my big thing is the gym, and I want to live longer, things of that nature. Maybe we'll get into
Politics
some more
like
Peter Attia, but I think, I'm not sure we got cut off in the first recording, but I listened to a great Joe Rogan, and to some of your surprise, I don't listen to Joe Rogan every day. I'm usually doing an Audible, but I usually listen to something that seems that it might be of interest. I don't know what Kid Rock and Dr. Phil had to say, but I went too far. Aaron Rodgers, that was a good one. Episode 2109 on Joe Rogan. Abigail Schreier, I think is how you say it. She's a journalist. Bad therapy, why kids aren't growing up. I thought it was a great conversation. I want to read her book. But there's so many things that, your kid needs to be in therapy. You got divorced. Your kid should be in therapy. And there's some bad therapy out there. There's bad kids getting on. You got to medicate these kids and everything else. And even just the way the school system is. Maybe we need to change it. You got kids out there that aren't doing well in school and you're medicating them to conform. Maybe traditional school isn't the place. Or even, that's not how we evolved. Little cave kids weren't sitting in the cave on their stone and drawing on their stone tablets. We would uncover that stuff. Don't you think we would uncover that?
Well, there wasn't a lot of it. It was.
I mean, you're the guy, dude. That's your
Hey,
specialty.
most of the time, when you look at Native American groups, they would. Have you ever heard of cradle boarding? Where they put a baby on
Yeah.
a really flat
Yeah.
board and they kind of tie them to it,
Yeah.
right? And it helps with the posture. But what you could do is that they would set the kid up and they would let it watch mom and dad, because that's how it learned, right? That was the earliest learning they got. So the cradle board was always meant there just so you could see what they were doing, and the kids were expected to. Native Americans, for the most part, they could be kids and play, but they were expected to have duties. And when they got to adulthood, they already had all the skills because
they were learning
shown.
skills to survive, which I think is super cool.
Yeah, they're also learning social skills, right? They were
And
seeing
social
these-
skills, but they weren't there doing 1 + 1
No, I mean, not there, no.
and sitting through math and things of that nature. And even before that, I mean, beyond that time frame, that's not how we evolved, sitting in a classroom.
No.
So
Moving.
maybe we need to come up with a different school for these kids.
Wow, it's a big ask, because you're
Oh,
asking-
just medicate him then. You just medicate him, Josh. Freaking jerk.
Do you think,
Fight the power.
Do you think all those teacher unions are going to give you the power
Oh
to do that?
man, don't start me on unions.
Do you think they're going to give that
Don't
up
start
to you?
me. Yeah, don't start me on unions.
They have
their place.
Have a grip on the educational
Fight the
system.
power. Fight the power. And there's a big power base.
Huge.
Fight the power, people.
So
Like they're going to control the way. I don't think it's the right way to educate kids.
you might be right. I would
think
agree.
you can go this way. You can go this way. There might be 3 tracks or 4 tracks, so you get that core stuff. But they need to build out. And yeah, being generally educated is awesome. I'm not saying that, people freak out. I'm not saying that. It's like this, not all therapy is bad, but there is bad therapy out there.
Yeah.
There's bad prescription drugs. I know that aggravates some people out there, but they don't listen to the show anyways.
They don't care.
She doesn't listen
Who's
to the
listening?
show. Your wife. It's crazy though.
Yeah.
We need to fight it. Why can't these kids go in high school? I mean, they do. You see less and less technical high schools. Where I grew up in New England, there was a lot. God, I think we played 2 or 3 other high schools that were voc schools.
Really? Because what you're talking about is the difference between regurgitation learning, where they're just given stuff and they have to spit it back out at the person, or critical thinking learning.
Now wait a second. I'm sorry because you're smart, but I'm going to forget.
What?
It's my show.
Okay.
And I'm going to fight the power, and you're the power.
Wait,
freaking producers. Power.
What did I say?
I don't know. You're saying something good.
Regurgitation versus...
Now my father.
Yeah.
Their high school, I mean, it was doing 3 towns back in Rentham, Massachusetts.
Wow, going way back.
That I remember my mom kind of joking he was on the voc side. He was a vocie. He was in the vocational side of the high school. My high school had a small, woodworking, automotive. Was there something else? I mean, we did have architectural drawing. That was a great class.
I would have taken that.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I like that class. Really wanted to do that for a while, but we're
Yeah,
getting off
architecture's
track.
cool. But keep going. You
but-
use a Vokie?
Yeah, I mean, they had it. I mean, we're talking in, the 50s, 60s. But we've gotten away, I think, from some of those. And we need a workforce. But I just don't think it's the right way to raise or educate kids. Or a complete way. It's working for some, but why are we medicating all these kids? We're messing them up.
Yeah. Yeah, we are. And there's a lot of medications that are showing that you just shouldn't have them before puberty. Right? I mean, you're developing our whole way through. Like, the brain's developing. And it does have real effects on learning. And if you put them in an environment where they just have to regurgitate information, that's all they know how to do. Right? They just know how to tell you yes and no.
Yeah.
But on the vocational side, kids who took that could figure out a way to make something work, right? That's the big difference. You're making
we
them
need
try.
those people.
We do, because they usually are the ones who build our towns, right? Who feed us, all this stuff. They have critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
And they're wealthy usually because they've started a business. Like, they have skills, right?
Yeah. I think one interesting thing from bad therapy is she interviewed, I guess it was like first year medical professor, and saying kids were afraid to start their experiments. Oh my God. My stepson's been experimenting forever. I just found, I have no idea. Sometimes we're like, I don't know what he's doing, but I just found Old Spice stick deodorant in the freezer. I'm like, in a bowl. I'm like, I don't know what he's doing here, but it's got to be one of his experiments.
Right.
The ice I don't know what he's doing.
The ice tastes funny, but
oh yeah, the ice tastes funny. At least it's just, hopefully it doesn't contaminate my grass-fed meat.
But he's experimenting. He's learning, right? He's learning on his own. And even little stuff like, how does this freeze?
These guys are med students, and they're afraid to start their experiment and their mental state and all this other stuff. It just blows my mind about everything in the false narrative from, we're just going to push it out there, that one round from a 5.56 is going to cut somebody in half. And people believing it to, dare I say that there's two sexes? Dare I say that there's male and female? And she actually has another book on the whole thing, on the whole transgender thing and how it's blown up here where it was not. I don't know if it was like 0.001 and it was boys that were suffering from it.
Sure.
And now it's just blown up. And we're making we're allowing kids to make this decision. They can't even vote. They can't even drink. They can't even drive.
Yeah. Kids, if you look at the way they develop, right, the idea of sex and sexual maturity doesn't even enter the realm of their minds until 12 or 13. It only happens because of TV and stuff, but that's not like their drive, right? They have no clue what's going on in their development. They can't even comprehend some of that stuff. So to give them the choice and the power over that, it's not something they've come up with. It has been given to you by a parent or a peer, right?
Yeah.
That's a learned behavior for the most part. And we're trying to allow kids to make decisions on a learned behavior taught by someone who has an ideology. And that's the scary part, right? These kids, according to development, don't care. They just don't care. It doesn't even really come into their mind until puberty, but that's instinct.
Yeah, I mean, talk about, you were mad about something, but talk about something to be mad about. In our educational system, if we want to talk about, we need diversity in the workforce and everything else, right? Mm-hmm. That's a big topic.
Sure.
Why are we not pissed off? Why are we not demanding diversity from our educational professionals? That there's just one agenda that,
great question.
What is it, 80% of them are liberal?
Yes.
Well, first of all, they're putting their personal philosophy in instead of educating the kids and doing their damn job. But why are we not having a mix equally in our school system that kids are being exposed to all points of view? I have no problem. I really feel I'm on the middle except for one or two things. Expose kids to other ways of thinking.
But they don't want critical thinkers, John. They want regurgitators, because regurgitators you can control.
So in our school system, why are we making that change? Why are we demanding that these teachers be more diversified in their philosophy on life? We're giving our kids one.
Right. Which is why you saw...
So, hey, if you're out there, kids, and you're conservative, freaking go into education.
Yeah, or...
And I think it should be year-round, and I think they should be paid well, but I think it should be year-round. And they're working...
What about local education boards, right? They're the ones that affect the curriculum. So there was big races in Castle Rock here a long time ago. That's still the case, where people were running for Board of Education, because that is what controls what the students are consume and learn, right? Yeah. So it starts there. It starts at your local level. Everybody has to get involved with their local governing boards, because what happens is those small boards fill with individuals who have ideologies, right? When I was a kid and you were a kid, we probably had to take civics, social studies, math. I did like some shop. I was into music, so I did a lot of band stuff. And shop was one of the ones that like I really enjoyed. I excelled at music and like building stuff with my hands and art. Like I'm an artsy guy. Yeah. And nowadays you ask kids what classes they're studying, and they say, some will say I'm at a STEM school. And it's nothing but science, technology, and all that stuff. But you look at some of the other things kids are learning, and it's all based on ideologies, right? It's like accepting groups. It's a bunch of psychology based stuff. Like it gets really touchy feely, and it gets really like I have to love everybody, and they're taught stuff that doesn't have an actual benefit to them down the road, right? All it creates is a bunch of little regurgitators saying that this is wrong and you are wrong for doing it, right? It just sows discord amongst everybody, and that's like in civics class. It taught you what it meant to be an American. It taught you that wow, this system actually is not perfect but great, right? I mean, we're here for a more perfect union because the founding fathers knew it wasn't perfect, right? But we strive for it. And to use the past as a reason why we can't move forward is just crazy, and that's what they're getting.
Yeah, right? It's ridiculous.
They're breaking all the institutions down.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Just like people in comments on YouTube don't read the comments, as Joe Rogan says. One of them was right in front of my face the other day on that stupid thing. I need to try to put a sticky note before I click exactly where they put the latest comment on your YouTube Creator Studio. People are crazy. People are crazy. If you want to contact me, I am not reading the comments. And Josh was reading the comments, and he was in a lot of therapy, and it ended up being bad. So I had to pull him out.
You never read the comments.
I'm
you never read the comments, and you never feed the trolls.
Josh had a lot of trauma from the comments.
You never feed the trolls.
I know, but I shouldn't read the comments. You could read the comments, but you broke down. You broke down. You were crying. You came in several times crying.
I did.
Pissed off. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, I don't remember.
But we don't read the comments.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. We don't read the comments, people. If you want to contact me, hit one of my websites. But if you're out there, you're a Krav Maga student, a self-defense student, or a school owner, and you're looking for somebody to mentor you, help you along the path, I'm kind of a no BS guy. I think I suck. I can get better. I want to help you get better. I take on a few people as personal one-on-one mentoring and trying to help you out. Nothing super high cost. Do a lot of different things, working with people. Really, you want an hour, you want 6 hours. There's a lot of different things out there that I can do and work with you, from your technique to just business and running the ideas of, doing it for so many years. It's not an easy industry to be in, and I want to see every martial arts school out there succeed. So if you need some mentoring from your school to just your technique, and just sometimes having a sounding board, somebody to talk to that's got no bias of what you're doing, and tell me if it sucks. I mean, I'm constantly telling you, John, like, hey, do you think that idea sucks? Don't be like, yeah, John, it's great. You're the owner.
Yeah, I have
a great idea.
No problem trying to shoot down things that will be like, well, let's think about this.
Yeah,
right. That's how real ideas flesh out, right?
Yeah, we need, we all need that person out there, and it can be hard to find. And, a lot of companies out there I've found just BS you, that they're great for a little bit and then they're not. I was talking to John Whitman yesterday, going over some things and just talking about companies and going, gosh, they're great and then they stink. We've got a new guy for our Google ads that, he's been great so far, and hopefully he stays that way. But sure, he's great. He's also month to month. It's not like so many of these big marketing companies are, 6 months, a year commitment. You're tied to this person.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it from the martial artist standpoint. You want to get better. You're a Krav Maga instructor for somebody, and you're looking for more mentoring to get your technique better up for the next level. I'm available. You can look at your technique over Zoom. That is one good thing about technology. So you can hit me up on any of my websites, but our main training website is ClearSky.Training. We're always kind of trying to make that better and better. So if you want to support the podcast, check out ClearSky.Training. We'd love to have you join us. Hit the contact form there. I will read those, but if you're putting a comment on whatever social media, I'm probably not reading it.
I've gotten used.
I gotta make a coffee.
I've got to pause.
What's the time, Steve?
20 minutes.
Cut.
Gotta remember to
Wrap
cut
it
it.
up within the last 10.
Right. Here, I'm gonna make something that will mark it. I can actually see that.
You can what?
That noise I just made. That's how I know where to cut it.
Okay.
Because it makes everything like that whole audio line really, really big. John is a Black Rifle Coffee sort of guy, if you didn't know. And if you are Black Rifle, and you would like to be a sponsor of this show, we would accept. Because John drinks enough coffee in the morning to get a small
I
elephant.
have 2 espressos.
Like 2 super espressos.
I stopped.
They're radioactive.
I'm going to tell you, I stopped afternoon coffee.
Why'd you stop afternoon coffee?
Just see if it's helping my sleep. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is. I feel like I get dehydrated if I have a midday coffee and then I go to train. Like it just doesn't work well.
I don't know. Chrissy tested my blood. She's like, you came out. It was a Friday. I had a hard workout, but she said I was dehydrated when I got my blood work done. I'm like, really? God, I thought I had drinking a lot of water that morning.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. But overall, I think I'm trying to drink. I'm like very conscious with my water bottle of how much I drink. So I was like, really? I was dehydrated.
Yeah, and that has like negative performance effects, right?
So I was like, well, let me take on afternoon coffee because there's also the half-life. Who was talking about it? Probably Peter Attia, because that's what I'm listening to right now. The half-life of coffee, like if you're drinking it afternoon, half-life, it's later.
I don't even know how long
it
it
affects
is.
me, but it probably does. It's like, these chips aren't bothering me.
Sure.
I'm fine with the chips. I should run a quick half.
There's go ahead. I gotta make sure I cut it now because I don't want people to hear that. Wish there was a darn pause button. I'm gonna grab my phone. Please do.
How do you want to wrap it up?
Where'd we even stop? We were at that's the problem. We're talking bullies, we were talking about school boards, education systems.
We just talked about, dare I say it, there's two sexes.
Yeah.
What else was I just talking about?
Bullies.
Oh, I just went on that whole thing of like, it's a good break, so we could just start clean, because I was talking about, I just did a kind of an ad.
And then, just start with, we're back from that coffee break.
Okay.
And then just go right into it.
And I'm going to talk about, we're back from that break, and
everything
Peter Attia, fit. Hey, we're back from that coffee break. And again, sometimes you might have to cut coffee. I was just telling Josh, I love coffee, but I have taken out my afternoon Americanos, see how I do. I don't think it was affecting my sleep, but maybe dehydration.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love coffee, but the same thing that makes you live can kill you in the end.
You make fun of my sippy cup, but I have 2 of those before a workout. 2 of those in the morning. And what?
I'm gonna start punching you in the bladder,
dude. Well, I mean, the first thing I do when I roll in, I'm like, well, I have to go to the bathroom. But I'm just trying to stay ahead of the water, because on some of those workouts, I sweat a lot. I mean, you guys have seen it in the gym. Yeah, it's horrible. I sweat a lot, but I dehydrate really fast. So just trying to stay on top of the water. And we get used to this operating level of X amount of water. Every human does, right? And your feeling of homeostasis isn't what it is, but it feels normal to you. And hydration's the number one thing for everything we do, right? It's probably more important than diet. If you had there's some people who have problems with both, but I mean, if you've got to have one that you're really concentrating on, hydration.
Yeah, there's so much out there. There is so much out there. And, I love fitness. Sometimes my wife is a pure fitness person. It's like, you're not into fitness as much or something. She'll kind of get on me. But I love it. I mean, I started working out in the 5th grade, going to a Nautilus gym with one of the guys that worked for my father.
Yeah.
So, I love working out and fitness. And Peter Attia's new book, Outlive, is right up my alley now. It's like everything. I'm like, I wish I read that 20 years ago, but, it just came out. But, we can't kill ourselves in every workout. And just what's the game plan for down the line? How, what's your fitness look at 60, 70, 80, 90
years
100? What can you do?
Sure.
And people just put things off, whatever it is. We just had a guy said, I've been driving by here for a while to get up the courage to come in. Hey, we wouldn't be in business in Castle Rock if we were mean or whatever else it was. I mean, I think sometimes people get in their head that it's some underground fight gym or something.
Right.
Who knows? We want to help everybody get better.
Yeah,
but
health-wise, yeah.
The same thing, our fitness. Our fitness side, I just want you to be able to live longer and be functionally strong and do different things and not always do your cardio. Right. Women get just obsessed with cardio, and guys are doing back and buys and chest and buys and tries, and they don't have other components of fitness.
Yeah.
And we just get tied to that. And, our fitness here with Project Fit, I just want people to be well-rounded. I want you to live longer, work some balance, mix it up. And it's just too bad that some, people put it off is really really what I wanted to talk about. And how do you get around that? How do you convince somebody that they should do it? Because the science is just out there that if you're working out, you're going to live longer.
Yeah.
But people have no time. I mean, it's kind of what we were talking about before, like trying to fight the power, trying to make a change in our, local government and school board. It's crazy because we're like, geez, I'm just working so many hours and, I want to do this and I want to do other things. And then you've got this thing.
Yeah. I mean, trying to identify the times you're going to do it. Because, I work here at the gym. I hear some of the excuses. Like, I just don't want to do it at the end of the day because I'm tired. Well, the answer is come in before you work. You got to find the time that working out works for you.
And we're always tired. Like, why are you tired? What are you eating? How was your sleep? Get off of freaking Netflix. Get off your phone at night. Go to bed earlier.
Yeah.
Grow up.
Sleep. You need sleep to heal.
Yeah, sleep is huge. It can be linked to dementia.
Yeah. That
if you have bad sleep. Be an adult. Like, seriously, sometimes people just need a slap across their face.
Which, we'll offer down the road in one of our classes.
Grow up. Get off the phone. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
And it sets the example for your kids. Because when they see you being lazy, what are your kids going to want to do?
Yeah.
That's what they'll know.
Yeah.
But if you're getting up and moving, at least they'll see it, right? They'll know there's something more than just sitting there. So set an example. And I see it all too often in everywhere you go. Like, if there's bad choices being made and good choices being made, that will be directly reflected in your family. I mean, it makes such a big deal.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's quite crazy there.
Yeah.
Watching surveillance cameras.
Oh, good. Make sure that we're not good.
There's a big truck out there. It's unattended.
Well, I don't think we're so important.
I think it's a bomb!
Right, well, if it goes, we're both going to Jesus right now. So.
We're not live. We're not live.
All right. They might find
blow
us
us
later.
Up. They hate the podcast so much. They brought a big truck bomb.
Hey, don't tease me with that. Let's not go there. That's starting to bring back flashbacks.
We don't have that many followers.
Not yet.
Share this out with a friend.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is. But we just, we've got to we're not talking that, Josh.
Sorry.
We've just got to get off our butts sometimes and tell ourselves, I need to make the time. I'm going to live longer. People get so tied up and then, wait a second. I worked my butt off and I'm so out of shape, but I'm not going to be able to enjoy the money or the free time because I am going to be really, really limited.
Yeah.
In those later years because I did nothing.
Yeah. We all know
we can all get a little stronger. You can improve your VO2 max at whatever age. I mean, Peter Attia talks, he's the guy.
Yeah.
But he talks about, I think the guy might be, dare I say, older than 80, but I want to say the guy was older than 80, that this guy was improving his VO2 max. And we can all do these things, and it's going to relate to living longer.
Wow.
Yeah, and people just don't want to do it. So many times people just, they don't want to hear it. I mean, we talk about burying our heads in the sand. One of my things, it's really kind of my wife's idea, because I'm like, just do it myself. But we want to buy, 200 acres, 300 acres somewhere, and either sell it off so we can pay for it, but it would be a collective of people that wanted to have community garden and farm, and could you have enough that as a community that you're equally dividing up the food that you grow, the cows, whatever, everybody's getting a certain percentage, but it also allow you to go visit your kids or take a vacation, because people would be able to rotate those duties. If you have your own small farm, now you've got to find somebody to watch your farm.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to get somebody to watch my dogs.
It's hard, right? Just watching pets is hard enough. Watching horses is even harder. Watching the farm while you're gone, that's a lot of work. It's worth it. I mean, I'd love to have access to fresh eggs, like
The
non-hormone
chickens,
meat,
yeah.
chicken.
All that stuff. That's kind of my dream.
Yeah.
It'd be phenomenal. To do that, to simplify life.
John the Rancher.
John the
Rancher.
Farmer John.
Farmer. Oh, we're making a painting now.
That would be a ton better, I think, than grinding away. My idea would be that would be great. And hey, I taught kid classes, and it wasn't such a big grind of keeping, even a small gym going is a lot of freaking work.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh.
Could you have a community like that where things were, you didn't need to make so much money?
Yeah.
That you had a small school as part of that community. Maybe is there a fitness? You talk about you get whatever the acreage, you have 10 people. Well, you have a little bit smaller house because you have a community gym right there. Maybe that's part of it. But could I be teaching classes out of that small community thing? And you didn't have to teach so many classes because your overhead wasn't so big.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great dream. I think that it's viable if you can certainly get the state out of the way, right? Because they're going to freak on your cows and your chickens and your non-pasteurized milks and cheeses. But
you're local. You're consuming it yourself. You're not selling it.
Yeah, well.
And screw them.
Yeah, right. At the end of the day, well, that's the thing, is that the moment we try to create food that we think is healthier, the state doesn't like it, right?
Well, you're not selling it, so... But again, fight the power on that,
right?
Because they're crazy.
Because they want to control.
You're crazy.
Yeah, they
want so much. These people are just crazy. Like this, they want to ban all drilling in Colorado. You're just crazy because solar's not going to do it. You people, it's just not. Show me how it's going to work. Show me the plan versus we're going to ban all drilling and lose I think it was I don't care if it's 100,000 jobs, but. Is it 300? Is 5? They're just
all that.
So many things out there are just, we're going to do this because it's bad. You can't do unpasteurized milk. Really?
Yeah.
Well, you can't do that to the masses, but you can do that in a small, tiny community because people were fine. It was fresh. Yeah, I mean, it can't be shipped in a truck all the way across the country. But we're not talking about doing that.
Right.
We're talking about starting a community somewhere that, my wife needs a town.
I would love
and some culture.
Yeah.
Not your own town, Josh.
Like for Town Josh?
Town Josh.
I'd be mayor of
the Josh of the town of Josh.
Town of Josh. I go Joshua. It's better.
Yeah, I was just going to say Joshua.
Joshua.
Where do you live? Joshua, Colorado.
Ooh. We grow our own crops, our own food. People existed thousands of years with growing their own food. Never had a problem.
Yeah. I would love that. That would be so ideal.
Yeah. And then everything would just...
You have a community shooting range.
Yeah.
Archery.
Right.
Ski. Pickleball.
Oh, could you imagine? I know somebody that's making a fortune off of a pickleball place. And, you could have that, right? You could have all those things in your community. You could walk to the places you wanted to go. You would have access to food when the shelves are bare at stores, right? I mean, the differences of living in your own little community like that would be huge, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but that's gone away. That doesn't exist anymore. That was what
Yeah, that's really
like
what
in the
small
50s.
Town, yeah.
It was all small and agricultural and agrarian society. And people were tougher and they had to think through things. They still went to school, right? It just, something changed.
Yeah. And I'm not sure it's for the best. I mean, there's a lot of great things out there.
Yeah, but
that would be super awesome. I would love to do that. If you want to invest, let me know.
We'll make something happen.
Well, that would be cool if you were like-minded and you wanted to look for a piece of property and create that. I mean, so many people, where are they going to go when they retire? When I don't have the kids in school and all those things, where can you get 100 acres, 200 acres that you can do that type of stuff? But it's still out there. It's not like the dream is dead.
No.
But it would be going in with a group, like-minded people
Right, that's
of,
important.
hey, we want to start this community. And, there would obviously have to be some things of, if it's a community farm and you sold your house, the person's going to agree to those
Right.
rules of taking it, and who is that person always gets tricky. But I think there's a lot of like-minded people out there that wouldn't be, hard to find if somebody wanted to sell
Sure.
for whatever reason.
I'd love that.
But,
Yeah.
a nice community like that you could create your own cool little town. It's really not a town that you had a town. I'm not talking about being so remote that you can't go out and get some civilized culture.
Right. Because occasionally you want to go out to dinner somewhere, see a movie, and then go
Yeah.
hang out in the town.
Yeah, do whatever, that you're not too far away. I think that would be super awesome. So if you,
We're interested.
I think that's something big, that could take 5 years to put together. And that's really, that 5 to 10 years. Like, could you start investing in it now, and you got the property and you're waiting, whatever it may be. So hit me up if you're here and around the gym and you think that's a great idea. Hit me up, or how to reach me on any of my websites. If you're here locally in Castle Rock, Colorado, check out our gym, rmsdf.com. We make it doable for people. That's always been a founding principle. I want to make it doable for people of any fitness level. You can do it. You just have to start slow, and it's just starting. The people here admire somebody starting out. So don't be intimidated. If you're not into the big gym scene and people filming themselves, there's a benefit to filming yourself and watching your own movement. But they're just really posting to whatever stupid thing that they're posting out there. We're a small gym. I don't ever think I've ever seen anybody besides myself trying to post out for our social media here, filming themselves in a workout or taking selfies or something like that. So I love our people here, so we'd love to have you join us here. So whether it's on the fitness side, you want your kids having a strong mind, strong body, check out my kids' Krav Maga program. Our TNT are for our tweens and teens, and our adults. It doesn't matter how old you are. We can help you get better. You're not too old. You're not too old. You got some buddies. I'll create a ALP class around you guys, a semi-private group of a couple friends, whatever it is. So I am out of here. Fight the power, guys. Fight the power. Train more. Suck less.